The employment service really focuses on, placing people into employment, so, getting people job ready, offering that placement service, supporting them in their role, setting up technology, and to ensure that they have a fruitful and ongoing career.
An employment consultant was assigned to me to assist me with the job hunting process and to, to make the job hunting process as easy as it could possibly be for me. And for me, it was about really focusing on my abilities and my strengths, and highlighting those to prospective employers.
Our employment services looks at a number of strategies to try and address that barrier. One of those is using work experience. Work experience enables an employer to engage with somebody with a disability in an employment setting, to trial them, to have no significant obligations, but also provide real experience for those job seekers.
I think it was in the volunteer work I did that I learnt that as a person with a disability I was capable of work, which I think was a really important thing for me in my own self-development. But it also made me feel that this was the kind of sector that I'd be best fitted to work in.
I think it's certainly a very, versatile industry. There are a lot of opportunities.
I knew how hard it was for me when I was going through school, high school, uni, and that sort of thing. And I wanted to make things easier for people with disabilities in general, mainly children, because the resources when I was a kid weren't there.
I would love to one day end up in a client service role, so something like occupational therapy or physiotherapy or something along those lines. I have a pretty big passion for helping other people with disabilities, because I'm able to sort of empathise and understand from a really similar perspective.
Because I actually live with a disability every single day and a vision impairment and things like that. It's a matter of knowing what my limitations are. Everyone has limitations, I don't care who they are. But it's knowing what my limitations are and how I can overcome my limitations to help someone else.
All of my sort of accommodations were considered even before I started working there, and all of the requirements that I needed were established through an adaptive technology assessment and an occupational therapy assessment as well. So my employers were really clear on my eye condition and I guess the adaptive technology that I actually needed to successfully do my job.
There are difficulties in I guess, doing training with a disability, but I think that they're things that can be easily overcome. I have studied at the undergraduate and postgraduate level at university, but I've also done a lot of TAFE courses, and they provide a very different sort of education, I guess a very vocationally based education, which was very challenging to me and terrific because it actually gave me a lot of the job ready skills. But as a person with a disability, I had to think through what my problem-solving strategies would be in the workplace. So I think the training environment provided that opportunity for me to kind of iron out some of those problem-solving strategies before I actually stepped into my first paid employment.
The only thing I'd probably say is to make sure that any students going through that would be prepared to speak to their teachers, teaching staff, their disability liaison officer, make sure they've got everything that they can possibly have before they even start.
I think people are often fearful when they go to take on the challenge of entering a training facility and going down that path towards a career with a disability. Often people with a disability haven't had the same access to career counselling and career development. Sometimes they haven't had access to those part-time jobs that a lot of people have in their youth, like working at a fast food chain or collecting trolleys or whatever it is. And those job experiences are invaluable for your ultimate career. We I guess, forget that. But when a person with a disability is looking at getting work, they need to start thinking about that at the beginning of their training. Think about what volunteer work they can do that can help to build some of those job experiences, those work experiences that they might not necessarily have on their CV. And look at getting the most out of their training that they possibly can. If there's an opportunity, say yes rather than no.
My attitude towards my Set 4 in disability has been never say die, because it's taken me 3 years to complete it. Probably the one thing I would say is that to any person with a disability would be to follow your dream, but don't let people tell you you can't do it.
To understand that employment is a large part of your life, it gives you an interest, a focus that can provide you with satisfaction in what you do. But the education as well is life-changing. Being out there in an environment surrounded by other students and trainers, etc., learning new things, being involved with people with new interests, etc., you learn new skills, you get that social aspect, which is so important. You've got to think of it as a whole life thing. Learning, training, work, social aspects. It's about the whole person. And so it is about having as much in your life that gives you satisfaction as possible. This is really about life. It's about how you live your life, the sort of person you want to be. Go out there and do your best.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate. I think that I've got a strong belief that, the disability that I have, being blind, doesn't limit me in doing anything I want to do.